Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Sunday, and it's September the 21st, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a return viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. So feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And our story today comes out of the campus of NC State University, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Sex Scandal at NC State. Athletes file lawsuit alleging sexual abuse by trainers. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll identify some of my sources for you in the description box. Now, it's been quite a while since we've talked about NC State, and this was the last conversation we've had back in 2023, and it had to do with a large number of students who had died within that academic year, and I believe this particular problem occurred from the fall and the spring of 2023. And after that, I'm sure the university has worked very, very hard behind the scene to improve its image. But once again, it's facing some unwanted attention in the form of a potential crisis. And that's because there's allegations of a sexual scandal at NC State, where a number of athletes, I believe the number has grown, has filed lawsuits alleging sexual abuse by training. And even though the claims are simply allegations at this point, they're pretty serious. We know that wherever there's smoke, there's fire. And the number of plaintiffs are growing, and that's what's disturbing. It's grown from a single student 2 years ago to now 14 students in this lawsuit. And if it impacts the lives of our children, we need to be concerned. And for that reason, we're going to address these allegations and provide you with an update. And this is based on information that has been updated just this past week and published by several media sources. It's been alleged that a total of 14 former male athletes have filed a civil lawsuit against NC State claiming sexual abuse under the guise of treatment and harassment by the former director of sports medicine. It was mentioned that this case began with a single plaintiff 2 years ago, and today the number has grown to over a dozen. Several lawsuits and over a dozen students involved so far. Now, the lawsuit alleged many years of misconduct by the former director of sports medicine, whom was mentioned by name. We don't have to mention him by name, but we're just focusing on the news report. Now, this former director, he's no longer with the university, but this former director is accused of improper touching of the students' genitals during massages and intrusive observation during collection of urine samples. I believe he was one of 9 people mentioned in the lawsuit, but it appears they allege specific misconduct by that former sports director, and the other individuals are mentioned because it was alleged they knew what was going on and did not take appropriate actions to stop it. And as I already mentioned, this is not the first lawsuit. This is actually lawsuit number 4. Yes, number 4. The initial lawsuit was filed in 2022 by a single student. By 2023, the complainant had grown to 3 students, and now the number of individuals have grown to 14. The number of victims right now, the tally, has reached 14. It was stated that at NC State, there existed a culture of fear, with students afraid of losing their scholarships, and this promoted an atmosphere of silence by many athletes. But they did say that those in authority did have knowledge of what had been taking place. Reports say the first lawsuit was filed in August of 2022 by a soccer player, at which time the director was placed on administrative leave during the investigation, and he was fired that same year. It was mentioned that the soccer coach had advised administration back in 2016, which was many years earlier, that this director's actions were consistent with grooming behaviors. And it appears reports to administration had been made prior to that, as early as 2012. But he was reassigned for a year and then back to his old assignment as trainer with the soccer team 1 year later. And a few years later, he was actually promoted to director. And it was reported that he remained with that program until he was fired in 2022. And this single statement right here is what prompted me to do this video. It states, and this is from the lawsuit, the victim count could be in the hundreds. And I said, oh my, this is interesting. So my question is, why aren't we concerned? It doesn't seem as if we're really talking about this case in my area, and I think we should be. Now, are we responding differently because the potential victims here are men? Would we have responded differently here if the victims were women? I'm just wondering, why is it the concern is not where it should be? And when I heard the mention of hundreds of potential victims, this is the case that automatically came to my mind. And many of us are old enough to remember that USA Gymnastics sex abuse scandals, where in the 1990s there were hundreds of young girls, gymnasts, who filed charges stating that they had been sexually violated by the team's doctor. And he pled guilty to some of the charges, and he's currently in jail facing a considerable amount of time. I pray that whatever is going on at NC State is nothing that could be compared to this. Now, NC State officials have indicated that they will not comment on pending litigations, which is the normal statement that's made. But eventually, I'm sure a deposition will be done and they will have to come forward. Someone will have to come forward and explain what they know about all of this. But one thing for certain, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot more beyond the surface here, and it would be interesting to hear the deposition from students. That's when you will really understand what those students say they went through. And I don't believe we've heard the worst of it yet. There's more to come. But I'll try to stay on top of this case, and I'll bring you updates whenever they become available. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.